Welcome back to the Seaboard Central, everyone. Today we're going to go over installing new rail models Blue Point switch machines. To operate the switch machine is simply a push-pull knob that I mount on the side of the fascia. So stay tuned, I'm going to show you how I install them. Now I prefer to use micro engineering code 83 and code 70 track on my layout. So what you're looking at is a micro engineering code 83 turnout. To operate it with any kind of switch machine, first thing you need to do is remove this spring on the back of the turnout. And it's as simple as taking a point of the X-Acto blade and popping it in place. And this loosens it up to where the points move freely. Now with the turnout on the layout where you want it to go, you want to mark the location of where those turnout points are and indicate the center of the turnout. All right, next up, using about a 1/4 inch drill bit, find the exact center of that point where those points are and drill down through the layout. Now before I secure this turnout down to the road bed permanently, I want to check and make sure those points are centered right over the top of that hole. And it looks like they are. At this point, I can take a little bit of a tape and I can cover part of the hole so I don't have a lot of ballast falling down inside the hole later when I go to ballast the track. I just left a little small slit in the middle for the switch point to be able to move, the rod going through the switch point. All right, next up we have our switch machine itself. And this little brass piece can go on either side depending on which way the switch machine is mounted. It's going to be mounted in this fashion, like so. So that's we use some screws to mount it to the underside of the layout. So we'll do that next. So before I start installing the switch machines, you can see I've installed the fascia along this edge of the layout. And this will be, you need to do this step first so we can drill holes into the fascia to mount our push-pull rods. All right, the next thing I want to do is tap out this little hole here, make sure it's big enough for my switch rod to go through. Sometimes you may need to widen the hole a little so that it'll accept it. All right, before we go into the layout, one more thing I like to do is add a little bit of double-sided tape to the back side of this piece. That way, when I'm mounted up underneath the layout, it'll stay put to help me screw everything in. All right, we're under the layout now, and I'm showing you how I have this mounted. And so this rod moves to throw the switch. Next up, we need to drill a hole through here to connect the throwing rod. All right, for this one I use about a 9/16 drill bit. I follow that up with a 1-inch bit, and I just want to go through the fascia. I don't want to go through the backside. All right, in this next part, it pays to have something like this vise that I bought here from Micromark to hold this piece in so that we can add these threaded studs. And what you want to do is you just twist them in. Make sure you do it as close to the end so you don't mess the ends of the threads up. And you want to go in about 1/4 to 1/2 of an inch inside here. All right, next we're going to take this and we're going to thread this through this red piece, flexible piece, and it comes out the other end. And we're going to attach this to our switch machine. Next up, we're going to thread this piece through here, and I'll show you how I hook it up below. All right, here we see the red piece is connected here, and we'll add a screw here after we finish to make sure this doesn't go anywhere. With that in place where I want it, I'm going to just take a marker and I'm going to mark where I need to make the cut. And I can take this back out, and now I know where to cut it off at. Next up, I'm going to take my threaded rod and put it inside and hook it up to the switch machine. All right, by twisting it, I've attached it now to the switch machine, and you can see how it works. All right, before we go to the next step, we can test it. And it indeed is moving the points. If we had to at this point, we could adjust the location of the switch machine with the screws on the bottom and also the fulcrum for the actual rod coming up through the points. With everything where I want it, I just want to cut this part off. And go to the next step. All right, in the next step, I take these little flower pot looking push-pull pins. It has a little small washer and this screw that fits inside. Once you get it inside, it's just a matter of screwing it to the end of this yellow piece. You may have to open it up a little bit with an X-Acto blade or something, the point of it, and but you want to just screw this in until it's holding it firmly. And with it firmly in place, now we're in business. Now it's just a matter of nipping this off, touching this up with some paint, and we're good to go. All right, one last thing. I added the screw here. Make sure this doesn't slide out. It keeps it in place. And also, if you need to adjust the tension on this rod, this can slide up and down. And it will, the farther down, the more the rod will move. Further up, the tighter the rod will be. So I hope this has helped you out to show a little bit more about these new rail model switch machines. As you can see, it works pretty good. And I like the way it works, and that's why I choose to use them on the Seaboard Central. Until next time, thanks for watching, and happy model railroading, everyone.